Hello everyone! In today's video, we'll explore how to use two powerful tools in Blender, Curve and Flatten from LoopTools. You'll learn how to create smooth curved surfaces, how to evenly distribute the mesh, and how to flatten bumpy surfaces, making your modeling work much easier and more precise. Don't forget to subscribe to Blender Mastery for more exciting and helpful Blender tutorials. Today, I will guide you on how to use the Curve tool in the LoopTools add-on. First, we create a plane. Then press Tab to enter Edit mode. Right-click and select Subdivide multiple times to divide the plane into smaller sections. Press 1 to select vertices and move them to the desired positions. Select 3 vertices where we want to create a curve and press Curve. A smooth curve will instantly appear with ease. Next, let's create a curved surface from 3 curves. First, move the middle vertex slightly upward and connect 3 points in the center to form a middle curve. Then, we select 3 curves to generate a curved surface, like a dome. Now, with this curved surface, we can freely shape it as we wish. But there is one special feature I'd like to introduce: the ability to flatten surfaces back to their original state if we've made mistakes. Normally, we might use Ctrl+Z to undo changes. But Ctrl+Z resets all objects to their previous states. What if we only want to reset a single vertex to its original position? Now, let's randomly create 3 vertices and test this feature to see how it works. First, select the vertex you want. Then press Ctrl+I to invert the selection. After that, press Curve, and the selected vertex will immediately return to its original position. Moreover, you can adjust the height of the vertex as needed. Similarly, you can select multiple vertices on a surface and restore them to their original positions. Similarly, let's test how this feature works on a cube. First, press Shift+A to add a cube. Next, press Tab to enter Edit mode. Then use the Subdivide command to divide the cube into smaller sections. You can also use the shortcut C to perform this command more quickly. Just like with a plane, pull the center vertex upwards slightly. Then select 3 vertices to create a curve. However, when working with a cube, there is a key difference compared to a plane. The curve doesn't only appear on one face, it also affects the adjacent faces of the cube. So how can we make the curve only apply to the surface we selected? To do this, you can use the XYZ axis constraints. For example, Selecting the x-axis will constrain the curve along the object's length on the x-axis, preventing it from bending beyond that length. Another example is the boundaries option. This option restricts the curve between its two endpoints, ensuring it doesn't extend beyond the start and end points. Now, press Tab to return to object mode. Then press Ctrl+3 to apply the subdivision surface modifier, which smooths the cube. You can select random points and press G to move them freely. Here's the question: how do you reset a vertex to its original position without affecting the others? Deleting the vertex and recreating it is time-consuming and often inaccurate. However, with the Curve tool in LoopTools, this becomes very simple. First, select the vertex you want to reset. Then invert the selection using Ctrl+I and press Curve. The selected vertex will immediately reset to its original position. You can also adjust the curve's intensity to make it more or less pronounced after resetting. Finally, another powerful feature of the Curve tool is its ability to reorganize the mesh of an object. When the mesh surface of an object has areas with uneven grid sizes, some too large, others too small, the Curve tool can balance them out, making the mesh more uniform and easier to work with. Try creating a plane by pressing Shift+A, then press Tab to enter edit mode and use the subdivide command to divide the surface. Add curves to the surface, and you'll notice that the mesh grid isn't uniform. Some sections are large, while others are small. Using the Curve tool will smooth out the grid, making it more even and manageable. You may notice that the mesh distribution on the surface is uneven. Some sections have large faces, while others have smaller ones. This imbalance can lead to errors when smoothing the surface or performing other operations. To address this issue, it's essential to redistribute the mesh more evenly, making it easier to work with and minimizing potential problems. The process is very simple. We select the mesh at both ends of the object and the mesh in the middle of the object. Then, we press Curve, and the mesh will automatically be redistributed evenly. And now, let's move on to a new feature, the Flatten feature. This feature is similar to having a wrinkled piece of paper and using an iron to press it flat. It flattens all the vertices onto a single plane. However, the vertices won't stay aligned like they originally were. Instead, they get compressed down. Let's test a few cases to see how it works. If you choose to flatten according to the view, it will flatten the paper based on your perspective. You can use this feature to create a road running through valleys or a river flowing through a forest. Suppose what you're looking at is a mountain. We will use a brush to select a path where the river will run through, and then we will use the Flatten tool to make it flat. If you choose to flatten according to the view, it will be like a deep hole when viewed from above. Thank you for watching the video until the end. Please leave a comment to let me know if there's anything you didn't understand, and I'll do my best to help you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest videos.